Hello, everybody, and welcome to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. We are your hosts. I'm Jessica Milagros. We have Braden White. We have Busy Blue and Big Brother Drew. What's up, team?
What's up?
What's that in there?
How's everyone doing on this lovely day?
Doing great. I was watching the Anthony Hamilton Music Soul Child's versus.
How was that?
It was good. Music Soul Child, his voice and tone. It's almost like the first time we ever heard him. It didn't change. It hasn't dropped. He sounds amazing. Now, Anthony Hamilton, they had to change the key. But Music Soul Child, it's just so soulful, so pure. That man has a gift from God. It's really good.
Wasn't that supposed to be on Valentine's Day, or am I a day late?
That's what I thought. But I guess that's why it's free today. So you can just go watch it for free. Because because it was gone.
Ooh. Well, we have a lot to discuss today. We are going to be recapping Celebrity Big Brother 3 episodes 9 and 10. We are already in the middle. We're already in the middle. We're down to 6, yo.
Crazy.
This is it. Finale is next week, which is kind of weird. So we have a lot to cover, but before we do, we always ask you, click like, subscribe, click to receive those notifications down below. Make sure that you know when we're covering Celebrity Big Brother. Super Chat's also a great way to support the channel. We have a very special guest today. So if you have any questions for her, if you have any questions for us, if you want us to see a comment, that's the best way for us to acknowledge it and to be able to address it. We got a lot. There was a lot of drama this week. There was a lot. There was a lot of a lot. So we're going to get down to it. But before we do, we're going to introduce our lovely guest co-host. You may or may not know her, but I'm pretty sure you do. She's from Big Brother 23. And we have the beautiful AZAH. You hear her?
Hi guys, what's up?
Hi, AZAH.
Hey, AZAH.
Hey,
Good
Queen.
to see y'all. Good to see y'all. I'm so excited. There is a lot to talk about, most definitely.
Oh yes,
Before we get into any Big Brother stuff, AZAH's cooking, guys, amazing.
Period.
Like,
Top tier.
if you have the opportunity to tap in with anything she's doing, to taste what she actually is serving, please do. I gotta get the cookbook as well. I saw either chicken fingers, sweet honey, chicken.
Yes.
Come on now, AZAH.
Chicken wings.
Salute
Yes.
to you.
Thank you.
Well, yes. I have not had the pleasure yet, so I'm hoping to be able to eat this. But now that actually, before we even get into it, because we said we were talking about how finale is next week, right? AZAH,
Yes,
Birdie tells us that you have a little special something cooking up.
Yes, I do. So I'm having HOUSECHOPS. It is a Celebrity Big Brother watch party. We did it in Washington, D.C. for the premiere, and it went great. We had so much fun. Busy Blue was there, yes. Yeah. So we had a really good time. We decided to take it across the country to L.A., and what it is we're going to watch the finale of Big Brother. You get to try some foods that I made in the Big Brother house and some Big Brother-themed tapas, and then we just have fun and just dance the night away after the finale is over. So that will be for 23rd at Berkshire House, starting at 6:30. You can get tickets when you go to my Instagram bio and click on the link. You should be able to get tickets. But if you look up on Google Eventbrite HOUSECHOPS, you should find it as well.
Yes, and absolutely anybody who is interested, it is the link, the Eventbrite link is also in the comment section below in our bio, just so that everybody knows. So all you have to do is just click in the bio and it'll go to there as well. She has a lot of great people attending. It's usually
amazing guest list.
I mean, yeah, when everybody's together like that, they're going to have a good time. It's in LA, y'all. So if you're in the LA area, make sure you go to that.
Thank you.
I heard the last one was, I always get so much FOMO when I see these because it's like, oh, so much fun. I'm big FOMO, but yeah, let's get down to business, shall we? Because it's been crazy in the Big Brother house. Yes, the last time we were all together, we had, oh my gosh, it's wild, right? We had, who came out? I can't even think anymore. Wait, what?
Chris.
Oh,
Chris
yes.
left.
We had NSYNC go bye.
Period.
He was gone. He had sacrificed himself for the greater good of Shayna's game.
Is that what it was?
Yes, that's how it was. And that wasn't necessarily the case, because we ended up on Sunday's episode seeing the HOH. Carson wins. Everybody's happy, right? We're like, yes, finally a change in power. This is gonna be great. And then a flip of the script.
Yes.
And then, oh my gosh, Busy is like, yes, okay. Misha's in trouble. Carson knows that who's going to go on the block at that point is going to be Misha, and it would be Todd. Those were his two. Todrick comes in, asks for a deal. He gets a deal with Carson, but that's not good enough. So he is now going to talk to Carson and kind of throw Shayna under the bus. So let's get into it. Do we think that this was a good plan? Was Todrick playing game? Like, how did you feel about this turn of events?
Excited.
Oh, wow.
An icon. There never has been, always never will be. And I loved it. I loved it. Talk about a change. Y'all thought that 2021 and 2020 was over, and it's still here. Carson got into power and still ruined y'all days. Okay, I was a fan of it in the way. Okay, Cynthia flip-flopped so fast like a pancake. I loved it. He was like, you know what? If I could convince Cynthia, this whole house would be turned around. And because all you have to do is get into the realm and the world of a Pisces, shout out to the Pisces season coming. He got up to Cynthia and told her what she wanted to hear. And she felt so convicted that she had to go tell the people. She had to lead the people and say, look, Shayna's been playing. I loved it. Everything about it was amazing. He took that deal. He's like, this is not enough because I need her. I can't beat any of these people at the end. So I got to take the attention off the only person I can take to the end with me. And he did it so flawlessly. He knew exactly who to go to, and it worked. I stand an icon.
Yeah, I feel like strategically it was a very good thing for Todrick to do, in order to keep Misha here and, kind of blow up someone else's game. And the fact that it worked, because I feel like that's always a fear, is that either you try to blow up someone's game and they blow up yours, or just backfires and now you've just created, two targets. But yeah, no, I would say like strategically, he really did that.
AZAH, I'll let you go first, AZAH.
I watch the game a little bit differently now. One, I really honestly don't really watch episodes. I really more keep up with what's on Twitter and with Twitter updates. And I kind of just look at a very high level approach at things and just immediately parallels to things that I've seen before. And personally, when I saw this, as I saw all this unfolding, I thought to myself, if this all unfolds, it's going to look exactly like it looked in season 6 when the floater in the house was James. But he had kind of still was leaning towards one side, which was a sovereign 6 more than the other. But Maggie, who was part of the friendship, successfully got Howie to instead target the floater, which was James, rather than someone on the opposite side. And as I watched it, because I didn't watch Big Brother when I was back then, but as I watched that season, I was just like, how is this working? How did this work? How did this work? How did this work? And now I'm watching this real time happening, and I'm saying, okay, I'm seeing what they did. They tapped into things that were important to Cynthia, which is honesty, which is loyalty, and they used that to their advantage to get her, hook, line, and sinker to target someone that was actually working to protect her more than anybody else.
No, 1,000%. Cynthia, I picked her in the draft, so I'm rooting for her. But simply put, you got played, sis. You know,
That.
she's you know, and that's the one thing I think that the non Big Brother fans are now kind of, you know, that are in the house are kind of dealing with, because they don't understand that lying is a part of the game. You know, manipulation is a part of the game, and simply put, she got played. So and Carson's getting played too. You know, I don't want to put this only on Cynthia.
Oh yeah,
as well.
for sure.
You know, they're a bit of a package deal.
Yeah, it's Carson's HOH, so really honestly,
Exactly.
it's to be blamed, not Cynthia.
No, exactly, fully.
It's very interesting because it's kind of one of those situations where, of course, we're very, very aware. And I mean, even in the comments, many people do not care for Todrick. And so it becomes a little hard to for them to look at the gameplay versus, you know, just the way he's playing, because there is game involved. A lot of people here have been like, you know, he's getting really personal, which, you know, I think I would agree with that. You know, it's there's a lot of personal digs that aren't necessary in the game of Big Brother. You know, you don't have to attack, you know, people's, you know, children. You don't have to attack people's way of dress. You don't have to attack those things because that's not really game related, right? But game is also personal. So sometimes when you take things personally, there's no other way for some people other than getting personal and petty, you know, because that's also a part of the game and how you maneuver that and how you either are able to control that or not control that. You know, in this case with Todrick, I feel like this was probably the best move he's made all season, minus, you know, the, you know, kind of like the little petty attacks, because he personally has said that he was even to a point of petty, like he himself had said it on the feeds. So I think that the fact that at this point, Misha's his number one, he's going to go all out for keeping who is going to be his number one, because after her, he's pretty much next person out in his mind.
Exactly.
But do we think that he's correct in his mindset? If Misha was to have left because Carson was not going after him, it shows in the episodes that Carson is not even on his radar in terms of people that he would target. Is Todrick really correct in his assumption of how the house is working right now?
I think he could have let Misha go. You know, I know he's looking at her as a meat shield, but at some point, either he's gonna have to take the shot himself or someone else will. So I think sometimes I don't think it would be a bad thing to actually have Misha go in that situation. Just my opinion.
I think it depends. I think that if Shanna, you know, stays and, you know, Misha were to go home, I feel like Shanna would convince the house to get rid of Todrick next. But I do think that Misha is honestly Todrick's best chance at winning the game. And I also think that Todrick is Misha's best chance at winning the game. Like, I can't see anyone that Todrick would sit next to at this point besides Misha where he could potentially win.
You think if he sat next to Lamar, he would lose?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think in Celeb BB, it is very much socially based. And once people come out and they see, you know, I was gamed or I was played, like, I feel like if Cynthia sees how, you know, she really was just manipulated so easily, or Carson mentions in the episode, like, me and Todrick have, you know, these years of working together. So, you know, we have that in common. And I feel like if he were to see, oh, I was played that hard, people would get in their feelings about it. So I feel like if it was like, oh, it's them too, it's kind of like, who do I like the best out of the two evils, quote unquote.
And I feel like that would then be Misha. I mean, I think then Todrick has no chance of winning against anyone, because everyone's feelings are hurt by him, because Misha has been the devil that everybody knows. She has been very direct and I don't like you. I'm not talking to you. And there's no faking of the funk. Todrick has tried to befriend and manipulate and lie and has had to go back on words. And Misha has never even tried at all. Like, I don't like you, sis. I'm not talking to you. You can leave. You can go. You're nominated. And that's it. And if they're going to go off of that, I think that Todrick has no chance then at winning at all.
Well, here's the thing. Is there, and kind of said, there's no scenarios where Todrick wins. Is this actually real fact, because I do feel like he can win, and it's not because I want him to win or, you know, I'm for him winning. I honestly think that what we see as viewers, what we see as fans is not, we all, many of us know this, sorry, Busy, but you don't, but
Yeah.
we know that it is very different being in that house and what we know and the information that we obtain versus what, you know, what the fans do. So the fans are assuming everybody hates Todrick, but at this point, nobody hates Todrick. The
That's
only
what I'm
people
saying.
that hate Todrick right now are the 3 that are already out. So we do know as a for certain that there are 3 people that are not going to vote. Mind you, that Chris Kattan had left. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but we had just received word that he does not have a vote. So he will not be voting at the end of this during the finale. So that's already a vote lost. But Teddy, Mariah, and Chris Kirkpatrick and Shanna. Mariah might be kind of a wild, you know, we don't know where she's going to lie. She may vote for Todrick. She may not vote for Todrick. But we know that Teddy, Shanna, and Chris are probably not going to. But what about the other ones? They won't, nobody will have enough time to catch up with feeds and to catch up with everything that Todrick has been doing behind the scenes.
What did you guys think of that parting shot from Shayna? Did you guys see it as petty, or did you guys see it as, hey, that's just a part of the game?
I saw the first part as a part of the game. The second part, then it was like, girl, just walk out the door. I was there for the first dig. Like, girl, I'm gonna let everybody know not to vote for you. And then, I will. And it's like, girl, just walk outside. Keep walking. So at first I thought it was a good dig. And I was like, yeah, you better tell him. But then when she kept talking, I was like, okay, girl, we get it. Like you can keep walking. So it was good until she kept going.
Wait, so you thought it was petty?
At the end, yeah. At first, I was like, "Yeah, you tell him, sis. I'm about to read you." And then after that, she just kept screaming, and you out there by Julie by this time. Now I was just like, "Girl, okay, let the door close." Like
you out there by Julie.
we get it. She's sitting out in her chair by Julie, yelling, "No, don't worry, I will. I still got it." Like it looked, at that point, it looked pathetic. She was yelling as the door was trying to close, and then it just became like, "Girl, we get it. Go."
AZAH, do you think last words are a part of Big Brother on the way out there?
Our last words are part of Big Brother. I mean, last words leave a lasting impression. And I think it's, I mean, those, I definitely feel that those last words definitely probably made Todrick start second guessing some things. But I do think that up until the point that Shayna left, I don't know if Todrick was really thinking about jury, but he certainly was thinking about it after.
Exactly. I don't know if it was like necessarily petty. I think that when you are, you know, exiting, that really is like all the power that you have is like your final words. So I mean, it kind of was like just like her kind of, you know, making her last little power move. Like, well, have fun, you know, because I'm gonna convince the whole jury. So bye.
Can she do that?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm assuming she can.
Can she do what?
Convince the jury not to vote for him.
Oh,
I mean, she
absolutely.
can. She wants.
I don't think she needs convincing. Like the 2 that are already out, maybe the 3 are already not going to vote him. So I don't think that that's necessarily the issue. And I think in her goodbye, because she was backdoored, and I don't find that to be petty at all. I think it's interesting that they decided to flip the script and make it look like she was classless, when in fact it's like y'all were her team members and literally backdoored her. Like you didn't even want her to play, which to me is classless in itself. So if you're all like, well, we don't want her to even play in the veto, I'm gonna backdoor you, although you're in my alliance, and you want me to hug you and kiss you and tell you that everything's okay at that moment. That's probably, I mean, I feel like she was very, and I don't think that it was classless either. I think she said it in just like, I mean, she just
You got to read the right person,
honestly,
though.
I would have said it too.
What do you
gotta
mean
read the
she
right
needed to read the right person? She did.
Okay, I don't think
that
so.
shit.
I don't think she read the right person. If anybody has learned anything from season 7 of Atlanta, you got to read the right people. You can't just read everybody. Can't just.
So wait.
The
Busy,
people
who do you think
who
she should have read then?
Cynthia and Carson. I hope they get y'all out next. Okay, those are the people that backstabbed you. These people were not on your side.
Wait,
you
but
voted
Todrick,
against them.
But
you
Todrick
voted against them. You
saying
took down.
false. But Todrick was putting out false information. So
they had already drew the line. They already drew the line on whether or not we like you or not.
I see what you mean.
Who you need to be reading is the people who backstab you and threw you out.
It was just more Shanna kind of, Todrick was the person who masterminded, so we're just acknowledging, okay, checkmate, hun. Like, okay, all right, you did that. Well, good move, but I'm gonna make sure you don't win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you can do that because you're out of the house. Okay, you can do that because you're out of the house. You need to read the people who need to be read. The people who need to be read are the people who backstabbed you.
I feel like Busy's more so like. Yeah, I think, but Busy's saying more so
because Carson had such a strong reaction to that, saying that it makes her look bad, not really realize that that she saved you a week previously and now you look kind of questionable by letting So hey, it is what it is. I just think it's interesting that these final moments before you leave the house, some people use it to either check somebody. We saw the Kyle and Xavier last moments, or myself. I just got the hell out of there. So it's like it all depends on the type of legacy you want to kind of lead or leave behind. So I thought it was
Ollie Petty, 1,000%.
I mean, you know what? I think it really depends. We all know this. Like all of us have played and would want, if we were to play, have different styles of how we would want to play. If you're someone like Cynthia, who is nothing but loyal and completely honest, almost to a fault, where she should probably not have played Big Brother, because in a regular season that would not play out. Although it worked pretty well for you, AZAH. It did work out for you, but they do not have a cookout. They don't have like a solid alliance that was never gonna, crumble in that sense. It was pretty much a solid. It was pretty much solid. They did not have that, as you can see from all of the flip-flopping that they've been doing in the past few weeks. But Cynthia, like the way she sees it, obviously, and I get that, is that Shanna backstabbed her. Shanna was not loyal. Not really thinking back that Todrick was also not loyal, because he was originally part of this original alliance where he also said, peace out. They have not heard, though, I don't know how, have not heard that Todrick's kind of been just targeting them this whole time. And
I feel like they know that, though. You don't feel like that? Because I feel like they realized that the house was split, and that's what they're saying. We want to get you back over here on our side and to work with us, because we wanted us to be the 4, but you're over there with Misha. I feel like there was a clear divide, and Cynthia felt more hurt that, well, we already knew Todrick was on that side, but we had no idea that you were also going on that side as well. We had no idea that you knew that he was going up, and you didn't tell us. We had no idea that these things were happening, and you weren't communicating any of that to us. I feel like she knew that there was a different side, or that Todrick was removed, but didn't know that Shanna, I guess, was halfway removed.
Yeah, and I think that even when she talks about it, like Todrick was like, oh yeah, like Todrick and Misha were like, the only reason why like we even wanted to target Carson is because Shanna had brought it up to us that he was this big threat, and that's why we've been getting after him every week. So I think that's why I don't think Cynthia's really thinking like, oh yeah, Todrick's also. I think she's like, oh, the reason why they are targeting Carson is because Shanna's been opening her mouth and saying that Carson's this big threat, not that it's particularly coming straight from Todrick.
I mean, honestly, like would I have made, or do I think possibly I would have made the same decisions that Cynthia is making? I don't know. Probably not. However, I look at the way that she plays the game, and I have to say, it really is just going to take a test of if she still survives a block in this next week. It really does confirm a theory for me that even with the way that she's viewing the game and being with so absolute of, okay, you got to be here or here, even though that doesn't make sense to us, her kind of pushing that narrative for her kind of forces the house to kind of make, build those lines and draw those lines and make those things happen. And it does make everyone kind of make it easy. Like, okay, I'd rather know that somebody is on this side and this side than not really have that knowledge. And these are the type of things, honestly, that could kind of help her just slip through the cracks and get to the end. We have a whole other HOH that's coming up, and from what I'm looking, Cynthia still isn't one of the first targets to go up, and she still isn't, and might not even be the option for the backdoor. So, I mean, even though it might look crazy from the outside, what she's doing might be working and might get her to the end, because it got me to the end.
Great. I'm glad you mentioned it. Scotty and I were talking about this. Scotty Salted, big up to Scotty, by the way. The comparisons between your type of floater game, which is very hard to do, and Cynthia kind of doing the same thing, not being on anyone's radar. Do you see the comparisons there in terms of?
I see so many comparisons. Like it's like watching, like it's crazy. I see so many comparisons, and it's so fun and interesting seeing it from the outside, because you're seeing, people were like, why would she tell the HOH that she's going after them? And I know that sounds crazy from the outside, but honestly, in the house, it's a relief to know that somebody's going after you and not having to guess that. So people kind of just, especially if you're not able to win competitions, they say, all right, I got this one taken care of, and she's not going to come after me. Let me worry about these instead, I see so many similarities. It's crazy.
So that was interesting, because one of the things that Carson said is, do you play with the devil or the devil that you don't? Okay, so let's take and even people in the chat, let us know what you think. Would you rather, in this case, play with the devil or the devil you don't? Versus, like, say, if you were in Cynthia and Carson's, situation, would you have kept Misha or would you have kept Shanna?
Personally, I would have gotten rid of Misha, because I prefer to play with the devil that I don't know, just because they may not always be the devil. You know what I mean? Because just because, for certain this person is coming after you, there's nothing for certain this other person isn't. They could be on your side this week or not on your side. You don't know, but for certain that this person is coming after you. So get rid of them. In my mind.
So you work with them.
No, I work with the devil that I don't know. So I keep Shanna and I get rid of Misha.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, Misha had to go. You got a clear shot. She's kicking butt every competition. You know what she's gonna do. She didn't come check out your HOH room, Carson. You know what I mean? Like these are things that for a fact she's not rocking with you. So why on earth would you keep her there, man? Get her out of here. Just my thoughts.
Anybody else?
If I was Cynthia, if I was Carson, yeah, she had to go. You have
the devil. Who had to go?
Yep. Shanna. Not Shanna. Misha. Misha had to go. If I was Carson, Misha had to go. You've been putting me up this whole time. I think that he was heavily influenced, though, by Cynthia. I feel like she even had to keep telling him, no, this is why this is right. And if I was Cynthia, I feel like I would go with the devil that I don't. I think I would go with the devil that I know over the devil that I don't know, because it's not my decisions. And now I'm feeling like, well, she coming after, Misha's coming after you, but I don't know where Shayna stands. And I'm starting to feel a little bit of doubt. And now I'm feeling iffy about her. I know that the other girl's coming after you, but I don't know about this Shayna girl. And then if I was Cynthia, I would say that Shayna has to go. And because she had more influence, I think that's then what Carson went with.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Busy. I think for Carson, the obvious choice is Misha. I think for Cynthia, I think she honestly survives either way. And what people aren't really bringing up is the fact that it looks like Cynthia and Todrick have kind of brought up another kinship again at their little. So they have a relationship. Even though Cynthia is known as a duo with Carson, it looks like she values her relationship with Todrick. So she's going to do things that are in her interest and still think that she's still thinking for her and Carson. But I mean, it's really in what's self-interest for her, which is why I say that this might not be this might be a terrible move, but not exactly for Cynthia. Yes, for
exactly.
Carson.
Yeah. So when we're looking at, okay, so there was a point because it was kind of funny. I think I saw it here with Chan. Cynthia said, Shayna's taken all those meetings. Like, so this is the funny part, right? Because there is a moment where Shanna and Cynthia are talking. Shanna obviously has already been thrown under the bus. She's trying to make things right. Everybody thinks she's been playing as a double agent. Shayna's a little frustrated. She's like, I took you guys down. Like, I took you down. I voted, I voted your way. Cynthia's not having it. Okay. So Cynthia is not having it. And she says, well, you're the one who's been taking all those meetings, and then she says, and now come to think about it, you've never been on the block. And then Shayna says, that's because they've been targeting you all this whole time. If I would have won the veto and taken someone down, like, I would have gone up. Like, Cynthia was still not having it. Like, it did not compute.
This was sad to watch. It was so sad to watch.
Is this I was gonna say, is this Cynthia doesn't know the game or like how this works? Or
I think it's both, but I see like where like Cynthia's coming from, where she's like, listen, like you've never been up. Like, there's a reason why you haven't been up, and it's probably because you're working so closely with the other side, and you're working so closely with us. Like, that's why you've never gone up. Like, you've won 2 things, I've won nothing. Like, why would they want to put me up? Why are they? Why are they so much just, ignoring the fact that you're, killing all these competitions and really, working with us so closely, but you've never been up on the block once.
Cynthia felt like she solved the puzzle, girl. This is not it. And that's what was frustrating me. Don't come to me. Oh my God, it was the hardest thing to watch. It's like a gerbil or a hamster on a wheel in her brain. She sat there and she came in like, do you want to talk? But this wall she has up, there's no penetrating it. So it's just like, it didn't matter what Shayna showed her, Cynthia was going to find a way to say, that don't make no sense, though. It just doesn't make sense. I saved him. I put him down. Yeah, but why? Like, it just, nothing was going to make sense. And it was frustrating because Shayna had all of the evidence. Everything she was saying was correct. And Cynthia, I feel like you're more for your game and not for ours. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm trying to benefit myself too. Exactly. And it just wasn't clicking for her. It was not clicking. It was frustrating to watch. Cynthia.
It's just funny. I just have to just like kind of like empathize with Cynthia. And the only reason why is because I think about so many instances in the house for me where I just saw people going like from left to right, and because I didn't know where their loyalties lied, I'd rather take care of that. It's like, let me take care of all the outliers first, and then get to like, okay, who's here and who's here. And I don't know. If you don't know where somebody's loyalties lies, you just get paranoid. You just get kind of like, all right, this person could come against me. I just rather would just kind of get rid of whatever, the devil I don't know. I'd rather get rid of that than deal with this one.
Do you also?
Yeah.
So in your mind, you would have gotten rid of Shayna. That was the choice.
In my mind, no, I would not have. If I would have gotten rid of it, it would not have been I would have been able to see that Todrick is trying to manipulate me. So my decision to get rid of Shayna would be more, if I were to get rid of it, it'd be a personal decision I made for myself. Cynthia was definitely just kind of literally manipulating, gaslighting into doing that. That would just be more something that I'd see Shanna as someone, I got to keep an eye on this person and make sure everything is all is well. But I would still probably go with the original target.
I also think the big issue is like everyone's saying like Carson and Shanna or Carson and Cynthia don't really know how to play the game very much. And Shanna says like I've had to explain a lot of things to them. So I think also a factor that Cynthia's taking into is I think she thinks that maybe she's being just gamed by Shanna the whole time.
Yeah.
Like even when she's like, oh, you used the veto on Carson, she's probably like, well, you did that for a reason because you knew that like this is how you play the game. Like I don't know how to play the game, so maybe you did that. So then we would trust you, but really you're not working with us. Like, I don't know.
She's defensive or insecure about her knowledge of it because she's like, you know the game better than all of us, so you could be playing us. So another defense for her is that I don't know the game. She has so many reasons why Shayna's wrong.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter what it is. And I have a question of whether or not y'all feel like any of this is somewhat Shayna's fault. I mean, even Julie was like, "Girl, I mean, we got to be real." And at some parts, I was like, Shayna, stop admitting to any part of what they're saying because then it put doubt into their head even more. She's like, well, yeah, I did that, but not because of that reason. And yeah, that's true, but kind of not. And it was just like, Shayna, you're not helping your case. And then it just made it spiral more and more. So you did say that. Yeah, but it wasn't like that. Okay, that's all I need to know. That's what they said you said. And it just made it worse.
Yeah, I see it as just like, I see these as just different styles of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Style is honest and straightforward. Up until Shayna picked a side, it was a floater game. It was a rat game, and those games are the most fun to watch. They're the most flashy to watch, but they also are the most hard to be able to pull off all the way to the end. And I mean, you have to be able to know when to clutch, when to win the vetoes, when to not win the vetoes, when to fall back, when to come forward. And I mean, unfortunately, Cynthia the wrong person won the HOH that was able to convince the other person, and she didn't get the if she'd won a veto, she'd be able to kind of steer the ship in the right way, but she wasn't able.
Yeah. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that at this point, nobody is telling Cynthia or Carson anything about Todrick. Exactly. This is all Misha. Like at this point, to them, Todrick is just playing middle game. He needs the money. Carson has said it before. He doesn't want to come in between Todrick and his money. Carson doesn't need it. Carson would give it to charity. Carson does not want to take this opportunity away from Todrick. He does not know that Todrick has been saying, we need to get Carson out. We need to get Carson out. We need to get Carson out. He thinks that it's Misha's doing, that Misha just sees him as a threat, and that's the reason he's out. Cynthia also does not see it this way. She's not when Todrick was talking about the other Black players in the house, he was saying it to Chris. He was saying it to Chris Kirkpatrick. Chris Kirkpatrick did not go around saying, hey, he's talking about you, saying y'all ain't shit. Like that's not like whatever Todrick is saying is not going back to the rest of the house guests.
Why is that, you think?
And because Cynthia and Carson have known him beforehand, they do just
have that trust with him.
They have that trust with him and thinking that this is not like that he's not necessarily against them, but that the reason they're not like together is because of week one Teddy situation.
Oh God.
Because we know sometimes like being in the house, I mean, and especially because this has only been 21 days at most, I think they're in
3 weeks
something like that. Like this is nothing. They probably still remember first week
Todd does.
First week things, it's like, I'm not gonna
true. And you even see like that when like Carson first wants to get rid of Misha, he's like, well, I still want like us four to work together. Like I still want it to, be us. So you clearly see that they still have an affinity and a like towards Todrick in that house.
Yeah. They're not going to see absolutely any, anything until again, coming out of the house. And it might, and people are like, oh yeah, but the fans will tell them everything. Like you underestimate how we get, I would say love bombed. You know, it's almost like a love bomb. Like you just get
True.
all of you get everything all at once that you watch nothing. That it's like it becomes so overwhelming that they need a few days, and they don't have a few days to go through all of this. So more than likely, they're not going to see this until they put in their vote. You know, they're not going to see the, you know,
Until
the
after the
videos.
fact,
They're
yeah.
not going to look back at that stuff unless Teddy get up on that phone, yo, and she starts calling everybody individually, and she says, Cynthia, and like just has these, you know, this is what happened. This is, and we already know that Teddy's going to be on the Todrick smear campaign. So
we haven't talked about Lamar Odom this episode, guys. Wonderful DRs showing his love for Chloe. Busy Blue, fix your face. But we also didn't talk about the dramatic pause he took before casting his vote for Shanna to be evicted.
Girl, I was like, I think
what
he
was the
just
difficult situation?
I think he was probably deciding, like, do I get, either he was trying to remember her name, or he was,
that's a good one.
Or he was simply being like, do I get rid of like the big competitor, or do I, you know, get rid? But I really think he was probably trying to remember her name, to be honest.
It was uncomfortable.
I really think he was like,
or maybe he was just like really trying to get rid of that hangnail.
That's what I was saying.
I don't know. That must have been hurting him or something.
Not
the way he really munched down every fingernail and really put it on the couch next to him.
That's what I didn't know. That was like, wait, hold up. Why? What is he doing? Because he's doing this and he's putting it on the bed. Did you see that, AZAH?
No.
Oh my God. You have to.
Oh yeah, he was literally biting every nail and then like pulling it off and then putting it on the couch next to him.
During Shanna's, for those who didn't watch, because I know some people just watch the live feeds, some people only get caught up on Twitter. But if you have not seen it, go watch the last episode, the eviction episode with Shanna, when they are all trying to vote out Shanna. Lamar is literally comes in and he's like this. And he's just like
for minutes.
For a little
and Julie was like, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I can hear you." And then she's like, "You know, this is live television, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, I know.
There you go, daughter of Zion. Don't sleep on Lamar. I feel you.
I also think that he forgets that it's on TV. Like, I really think that he thinks that interaction
he's on his own time.
Isn't on television. It's just like he thought the diary rooms weren't on television. So I think he thinks that, you know, I just vote there, like it's not aired, and then like Julie just reads out the votes. Which has to be why he was just
I did not think about that.
I don't think he realized it's on TV. I think that's why it's just like, yeah, anyways,
Wow.
Oh man, it's so clueless. I think you're right. I think he just thinks that the names are, oh my God.
Think.
They were probably on the couch, just like, what's taking Lamar so long?
No, Todrick was waiting. That's why.
He wasn't even last.
No.
There you go, Jordan Brown. Lamar making history. His name in the rafter. Top 10 BB moment of all time. It was definitely something.
You know that. You know him talking about his wife has made it onto the Wendy Williams show. So listen, Chloe knows.
So you guys say he didn't have a shot before. Does he have a shot now? Is he have a chance with Chloe now?
I don't know.
No.
Come on, AZAH, come on. You know, a man, you know, he had time to think in the house. He had time to get his thoughts together. He's been dreaming about her. It's a sign, no?
Yeah, that she needs to get a restraining order. I can't deal. I cannot deal.
I love Lamar. He really kills me.
There's no. I love Lamar, but that ship has sailed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big on.
Come on, Fat Kitty. Come on. Don't do Lamar like that.
I feel really bad, but you know, the thing is, if he didn't win, if he's not going to win Chloe over, I think he won America over at the very least.
Yeah,
that's true.
He definitely got a rehab to his PR, his image. Definitely.
Absolutely. I think he's the one who knew how this was going to work, even though he didn't know, although he knows, but doesn't.
I think he got the PR rundown before he went in the house, at least. Maybe not game rules, but very much like, listen, this could really do us very well. So, you know, be polite in there.
Go buy his book, guys.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So I mean, as we all said, because we've already talked about pretty much the last 2 episodes, I don't think that we really need to talk about the actual competitions unless anybody really wanted to talk about them. I mean, it wasn't
what did
anything
you guys
special.
What did you guys? I don't know if this is before me, but what did you guys think about Todrick using the veto on
Petty as
Todd
fuck.
instead
Petty.
of
That was the most pettiest
That was
shit
I was
that
like,
I've
it was
ever
childish.
seen.
It was
Huh?
childish. I didn't like it. I thought it was petty and childish. But then also, don't keep me up here. Like don't
was
keep
like,
me up
you
here.
don't know me. I could go home right now.
Do not keep me up here. This is not cute. No, you said the wrong name. Do not keep me up here. It is never fun when a rabbit got the gun and you think that it's cute and everybody on your side. They could have flipped that script right there. Who
Just like
knows
that.
what Lamar would have said up in there? Okay, he
Because
was
could
the
you
baby.
imagine what would have happened if Misha actually went home?
Oh, his face would have been molded. Okay, his face would have been
Face
stuck.
crack.
Definitely.
I just want to say quickly when we were talking about wall comps, because we know that, wall comps are my specialty.
Period.
This wall comp, and we talked about it in our last recap. This wall comp, it was a lot shorter. It was a lot easier. It looked like they didn't really have to, they weren't.
It was celebrity modified.
Very much. I wish I would not have acted the way I acted on my wall had I had a wall like that. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, they had some nice handles. We didn't even have handles. We were figuring it out with we had just little grips of rock to hold on to. We didn't even have handles. That had some nice handles to hold on to.
Didn't it? I was like, I wish I had those handles. Right? Had mine were back like this. I was just like, I couldn't maneuver.
How cold does it get on that wall, ladies?
Oh, so cold. So cold.
But this year they have a tarp over top of the backyard, so I don't know if that affects it at all.
It's just that the water's freezing. That's what I like the most. I actually don't mind the laying in the wall. It's the cold water for me that I hate. I am shivering.
Yeah, absolutely.
But your iconic fall, Jess. We need it. Oh my God! Every year.
Well, nobody had an iconic fall like this because nobody's fallen that far off. I
it was more like a step.
Remember me falling was it was.
I don't know if you remember you falling. You were
it was a lot, but unfortunate. I mean, it was a great wall comp. At least for what we thought was going to happen, that didn't happen. None of it. A lot of people wanted Carson to win because, they were like, oh, finally, Misha and Todrick are going to go up. We're going to break the duo. This is going to be great. Power is now changed. And then, that all went downhill.
Question.
Mainly because people just want the exchange, a change of power. That it was just so Misha Todrick dominant. But go ahead, Blue.
What did you feel about something about that veto competition was riggy to me. It looked very riggy. It looked like Todrick his pieces were in order and they just went down in order. From bottom up.
It did look a little fast, didn't it? I was just like
I felt like he just went from place to place, and I was like, I stay in time. I mean, on Todrick, so I was like, okay, get it. But then I was like, well, he's just going back and forth, so it didn't seem like he was moving any pieces. It just was. It seemed like it was in order. I mean, I'm okay with it winning, but it did seem like everything was in order.
It didn't look like he struggled at all with that puzzle.
He moved any pieces to try to figure out. It looked he went 1, 2.
Yeah, it was like, why is it that he just picks up the exact same piece of where it's supposed to go, and that's just the way it was 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Look, y'all, I'm just gonna say this again for those who haven't been on this show, who have never watched an episode. This show's called Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. Whoever wants to stand whoever the hell they want to stand is gonna stand who they want to stand, and whoever doesn't want to stand is not gonna stand them. This isn't gonna stop us from being friends. It's not gonna stop. The whole idea of this show is for us to have opposing views and talk about them and talk about why and why not. That is the whole purpose, respectfully. And we could talk about game, which is basically what we try to talk about, and sometimes we could talk a little bit about personal, Which we could go there, but then you'd be watching like a 3-hour episode. You know, we don't want to do that because we could like sometimes the shit that we talk about offline, and we're on here for hours and hours and hours. So you know, this is why we let you comment. You talk about what you want to talk your shit in the chat. If you know, like whatever you want to do. If you have some, you know, if you have feelings about it, then you know, just let us know. But I just felt like I had to say that because this is not a Todrick Stan show. It's not a bash Todrick show. It's about keeping accountable for everybody who's doing shit show. You know, and everybody thinks differently. I don't know. People can disagree with that too. I just wanted to say, you know.
We stand you, Jessica.
It's just discourse.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now what we're going to do is put on the disclaimer spoilers. So for those of you who don't even know, I'm pretty sure on chat, y'all have been talking about spoilers already. But if you do not like spoilers and you don't want to hear this, then I would say gracias for coming. See you later. But we're going to talk about some spoilers. So as we all know, Shayna has left the house.
Period.
A little bit about Shanna though. Girl, I'm feeling for her. I
feel so bad for her.
I feel very
that was a way out. She did to go to no one. Okay, and that was sad to watch. I didn't like that. My heart broke for her.
Her giving him a shout out. I was like, girl,
can't wait to see you, Matthew. Kiss you,
and give you a kiss on Valentine's Day. I was like,
about that, who gonna tell her?
I was like, production, you shady for not telling her.
You wanted them to get
at least give her a tip off, like, hey, maybe watch who you shout out if you're gonna do any shout outs when you're saying your goodbye speech, just because you will be updated on a few things when you leave the house. That's all we're gonna say.
Oh my gosh, poor her.
You know, I felt bad. I think someone on my Twitter, because I had said like, this sucks for her because the people she was most loyal to backdoored her. It's Valentine's Day. She's like, I'm not even gonna try. She didn't play Veto, so that was one thing. She couldn't. Yeah. We couldn't even know how she played. She didn't get to play, so we'll never know if she could have won that veto. And then now she's all excited because she's about to go see her man, and then everybody knows, oh no, baby, you might not. You might not. And she was supposed to have her interview with Us Weekly that's been postponed. So we don't know if that's been the case. We know that her former, maybe still her boyfriend, maybe former, I hear that there's always kind of a rocky relationship, but that they unfollowed each other.
Yeah, he was in Teddy's DMs.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's so suspect that, Teddy like put him on blast and was like, I'm gonna have a few words to say with Shayna when she gets out of that house because her man was being very flirtatious in my DMs. And then 2 days later he's like, I'm calling things off with Shayna because she's flirting with Lamar. I'm like, the math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'.
It's very challenging, I would say, for some people to see their significant other on a reality TV show and to get so much love from these strangers. And some men are very insecure with seeing their girl look good, and then random people say, "Oh, and also like for if he was already on some shady stuff, perfect opportunity to be on some more shady stuff when she's not here." So it's a tough one, guys.
Yeah. It's just really sad to see that. And I mean, obviously someone who was with somebody coming into the house, I had a husband. There was one of that is one's like worst nightmare, to have to be gone with absolutely no type of contact with your individual and then come out and everything just be a hot mess. Because within those 30 days, I mean, I was gone from my husband and my child for 99 days without hearing a damn word from them. And around that time, they live. The thing is that the people don't understand is that people could watch us. If you're on the show, people watch you. They could go on the 24-hour live feeds. I mean, you might not always see the live feeds and you might not always see the person you want to see. But, for the most part, that they're in one spot. Whereas the person coming back out into the real world has hundreds of people that they need to catch up with. And if they have a tight family, let's just say if it's like even 10 people, that's still 99 days of 10 people's lives that you've missed. Now, and think about that on a very, that's kind of, I would say, one of the hardest things to go out and kind of figure out what everybody's been doing. Now that it's just, I really hope for the best for her. But we have a new HOH.
Yes, we did.
So does everybody know who it is? And it is Todd.
Todd, yes, an icon.
Todd, you know what? Todd is not an icon. The more he's in the house, the more I'm just like, no, child, no. This is not it.
I tolerate Todd.
What happened?
He's a little cranky.
You what?
I tolerate Todd.
Yes. Oh, we tolerate Todd. I mean,
he doesn't have a right.
Yeah,
side
honestly,
of the
it really
bag.
is another Misha HOH. Really can't lie.
That's true.
The fact that Misha will have been HOH for almost every week this whole CBD season, wild.
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta give it to her.
What you talking about, Willis?
Like, look, as much as people might not care for Misha's game, and of course the women didn't, which is kind of interesting because she has always said that she's kind of a guy's girl. She's got a lot of those men like wrapped around her finger. And at this point, if she stays, like I think a lot of people would vote her to win. Absolutely.
I think so too.
I believe so. Yeah.
She's literally a female compies.
Yeah. This season just gives me a lot of season 21 vibes, but it's, it is what it is. I like her intensity is gives me very much Mickey. So like it's not always about just winning, but you have people who
I fully agree.
Who are keeping you. And then the thing is, it was very similar to 21, where Mickey and Holly, ended up with a final four with people like Nicole and Cliff, and it was just like, what are we doing? So the fact that you have something like like Carson and Cynthia who think that this whole Misha and Todrick situation can happen when they're just like on the block, this would be potentially on the block. So let's say Todd is HOH and he has done his first nominations. His nominations are now Carson and Lamar.
Oh no!
Oh, Drew.
Listen, Lamar's social game is elite, guys. I'm not worried. Even though I know they are painting a fake target on him to possibly, get rid of the main threat, which is Carson. But you know what? Todd, brother, you shouldn't have put another brother on the block. And you know what? That's your man's, bro. And that's your man. So it's like, come on, let's do better next time. Let's not put people that are looking out for you, that you have a rapport with, on the block. No? Am I wrong with that, guys?
Who else would he put up?
To be quite honest, I thought he could have just put up Todrick, and that would have been.
I thought he was going to put up Cynthia.
I thought Cynthia Carson, no brainer, done and done.
No,
I think he put up Cynthia.
Same.
Really? I thought after that whole Cynthia debacle, I don't think he's gonna go down that road anymore with putting up Cynthia.
You don't want the smoke.
I think he doesn't want to do it because of politics, like respectability, like what it'll look like.
Yeah, we already went down that road in the arguments. I think he's like, I'm just gonna leave Cynthia alone. We already did that thing already. I'm gonna not touch her. I love Misha and Todrick. They've been keeping me safe and keeping me informed. I got my boy Lamar, and you just gonna go up as a pawn if you even know what that means. And then we'll put up Carson.
Yeah. I agree. Like, they don't want none of 50 Cent. They don't want that. No more.
Please.
Not for that.
Not 50
you don't
Cent.
mess with Cynthia. Not 50 Cent.
Yo, this is giving Kylan not putting me up at 6 vibes.
Ooh, and this is 6.
That's very true. But here's the thing. For a quick second, For a quick second, I thought Todd was actually playing a game. You know, I know that he was playing with Misha. He has a final 2 with Misha. In my mind, Todrick should Lamar is his boy. Like if anything, he was closest to Lamar aside from Misha, he was closest to Lamar. So it just would have made more sense to put Todrick up. And maybe if he would have been smart enough to try to backdoor Todrick, because Todrick is Misha's number 1. And it would be really dumb to think that if you're Misha's number 1 and you see, you know, how inseparable she is with Todrick, that you wouldn't try something, you know.
I guess, but also, I think it's also because he doesn't want to piss off Misha.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't want to put up like your final 2's number 1 person, because then Misha wins things. Misha will be like, you know what, Todd, you're next. You want to play this game? I can play this game too.
We can play.
Let's play. You want to play?
You want to go in the octagon? What did she say?
Literally, let's go.
We can do it.
Like, you know,
And also, you have to remember, Todrick just used the veto on Todd.
exactly.
Oh, so true.
Oh.
So maybe it was
that's
like,
a
I owe
good-
you, like I'll take you off. Now you don't put me up.
Like I really didn't care for the way he said it either, because he was like, and I'm gonna give this to the person who hasn't talked to me all day. But I'm taking you off. And it's just kind of like, okay.
Could this
like,
be part of a scheme or a
do
plan where
that.
Misha and Todrick don't want to get blood in their hands? Like, we promised them that we
fully.
wouldn't take them
Fully.
out. So, Todd, this is all you. You do
Fully,
this.
like I made a deal to not get rid of Carson and Cynthia next week. So, but Todd made no deals.
So
So
are
Todd
we
wants to go to Carson.
assuming? So are we assuming that they threw the HOH?
I wondered
I'm
that
thinking.
immediately when I saw Todd won. I thought that I wondered.
I'm thinking they
that would
did.
be-
How else could Todd win? I'm thinking that they threw this and they want to give it because it's 4 against 2. Well, actually, it's 4 against 1 because it's just Cynthia that can play. So they're
But
like, look, we
Todd
want to do
was.
it.
I mean, Todd isn't. I mean, I know Todd doesn't look like someone that's competitive, but I was surprised with how
He
long.
hung onto that wall.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
Absolutely.
on that wall for 56 minutes, right? That's a good amount of time.
Yeah.
So
58 years old.
yeah, at his
That's true.
age, he was third, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
I mean,
He got something in
I
it.
just wonder if it did come down to like a final 3 between, you know, Todrick, Misha, and Todd, and they were like, you know what? Let's give it to Todd.
I hope that's what happened. I cannot wait to see. I'm hoping.
Or one of those ones where, you know, you
That's what
got to see like their score, and they were like, you know what? Todd's still in the lead, and it's only me and Todrick left. Let's just
All back.
throw it to Todd.
This
I
would
wonder
be
what is the
interesting.
competition because Todrick and Lamar are now locked with each other, right? They are chained together for what, 24 hours, 48 hours?
20. It's a 24-hour. So there is a punishment that I guess came with the HOH where they're wearing costumes, and they are Todrick and Lamar are connected to each other for 24 hours. As of right now, it seems like Lamar is really getting on
people's
Todrick's
nerves. Yes.
on Todrick's nerves, and I'm trying to figure out if this is you know, something that he's doing on purpose. Apparently, like Todrick had asked for playing cards and Lamar ripped them. It's just like, I mean, Todrick's been just talking a lot. He is just not happy. He's been complaining all day.
You guys know how it goes. Like when you're in the house and you're actually, you know, sick of listening to people talk, you can leave. And in this situation where they can't leave, and Todrick's, you know, has a little bit of a verbal diarrhea, it's probably super annoying for a guy like Lamar that's used to kind of having his own space and moving at his own sort of you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure some of those conversations that I've seen on Twitter are obviously showing maybe Lamar's disdain for a few things that Todrick has said, and showing that they are not as close as people think, or have very different upbringings. Let's just say that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting too because like Lamar was pissed off that he was even wearing this, that Todd chose him to even wear this costume. You know, so it's gonna be I'm excited to kind of see a little bit of this play out in, I'm hoping maybe tomorrow's episode, you know, in seeing like how, like why he got the you know, the punishment, and what his first reactions. It would be very interesting to see. But yeah, as of right now, Carson is the target. We will
Does
see
Cynthia know?
this play. They're pretty aware that that's
Okay.
what they're doing. Cynthia's very happy that she's not on the block, because that means when they play Veto, if she wins, she can take Carson off the block, and they would both be safe. Which is really exciting to know that Cynthia knows this. Like, so now it's like, okay, girl, you playing now. You definitely know. Like, she was like, this is great. This is great news. If I win the Veto, I could take you off. We're both safe for another day. You know, she's on it.
So maybe you should have put her up then. I mean, everybody is gonna play in the Veto, but
yeah, everybody plays
it removes
in the Veto.
that.
So at this point, it doesn't make sense. At this point, it's just like, if everybody plays in the Veto, it doesn't even really matter if she was on the block or not.
But if she wins it, then she can just save herself, and she wouldn't be able to save Carson, which would make him go, and you will eliminate that threat.
Yes, I think that though nobody's expecting her to win. Which, I mean, no, I'm just talking about what I think I honestly think that Misha and Todrick are just so
going to dominate.
Yeah, that they think they have zero self-awareness. So I think that in their mind, it's either going to be Todrick or Misha that's going to win the Veto. A worst case scenario, Carson will win the Veto after them, and then they'll just put Cynthia up and then vote out Cynthia. That's kind of where it's going to go, because Lamar is definitely just a pawn on the block. So that's kind of, I believe, everything we have for today. I think it was a lot. I mean,
truly.
They said if Cynthia wins the Veto, how quickly will she get talked out of not using it?
Please.
Oh boy.
You're like, just so you know, Carson did mention that. And she said, you know what? Did you?
Oh my God. I would not be able to handle it if that happened. Y'all gonna have to find me at the hospital or the morgue. I would not be able to live if that happened, and I could see it happen. Oh, Cynthia, sweetie.
She's too loyal for that game, man. It's too loyal for that game, and
we'll see if it works out. Game's not over yet, guys. Okay.
Period.
That's true. That's true.
Period.
Especially in a game like Celebrity Big Brother. Look at who's left. It is all the people who aren't really playing, right? And then it's Todrick and Misha. So it's kind of like Todrick and Misha and everybody else who's like not really playing or doesn't really care to win, or are just there to have fun and be loyal to each other. But every other gamer, which was just like Shanna and Kirkpatrick, ended up,
Lamar Odom, guys. Come on, Lamar about to come on strong, finish the game strong. I'm all in.
I mean, at this point,
could you imagine if he was pretending to be dumb the whole time, and then he's like, yeah, so actually,
I will say, but the thing is, though, if Lamar wins the Veto, maybe he's on there because he could win the Veto, which means he would take himself off, which then means that it will be Cynthia and Carson on the block at the very end, at the end of the game, or at the end of this week. But I don't know. It's kind of like we're waiting for a Lamar reign. Like, people want to see a Lamar HOH, and mainly because he says that he would put up Misha. And
Todrick. He said he would put up Todrick as well. He said he's not scared to take the shot.
But I'm just trying to figure out, like, if that would really be the case.
I believe him.
Good. Lamar kind of is just like, he's playing a bit of a transparent game as well too, where everyone knows where he's at, everyone knows where his mind is, and with him, he doesn't really feel like he's on a specific side, so he can go after whomever. Anybody can get it, you know.
Truly.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely love. I would love to see it. So, what are we hoping individually, really quick? What are we hoping comes out of this?
Carson.
Yeah, of course. Carson and Cynthia somehow escape by this week.
Yeah.
And, you know, someone else goes home.
Oh, ew. I thought you meant who comes out of the house. Carson.
You want Carson to leave?
That move was I need the karma to come back. I know Shanna was mad at
Carson's
Todrick,
karma.
Girl, who you need to be mad at is that man you saved and he let you out the next week. So now he can go out right after you. I'm ready for him to get what he did to the person who saved him. Is his turn to now go. I'm sorry. I don't like what he did to Shanna. I know the people mad at Todrick and Misha, but the person who did that to her was Carson. Just right after she saved him. He can walk
I will
out
say
right behind
this.
her.
I feel as though if Todrick had better jury management, I would say he was playing probably one of the best games in the house.
Amen.
Yeah, definitely.
If Todrick had better if Todrick had better jury management, I think he would be playing one of the best games in the house.
He's disrespectful, man. I think that's what it comes down to. A lot of things. Like, you think he really just thinks these people are below him. He'll say whatever. He'll do whatever. But hey, what do I know?
No, the thing is right. It game really has nothing to do with personal, like how personal he's getting. When you're talking about game, like he can be as personal as he wants. The fact that he's still there means that something that he's doing is right, even though I think he kind of had which I think a lot of people knew he was going to have an upper hand in knowing a majority of the people that were going to be in the house, right? The beginning of Todrick's game was atrocious. It's like the fact that he was just up and leave a 6 and create so much drama, to just purely focus on Misha is a kind of weird. It's different. Although, I mean, he hasn't been put up because Misha's Misha's a comp beast. So, I mean, that has been his meat shield. I get that. That makes sense. But what I think, and I would agree with Drew, is just the personal aspects of all of it, of like not having to slut shame, a woman, and not not having to say that one of the house guests is a terrible father and that his child is going to be ashamed of him. Like, those are things that it's just like, that has no game, that has nothing to do with game. Yeah. And then therefore that's kind of fucking his jury management in sense. So it's actually bad gameplay, to do this, because you're literally drawing that line in the sand, that, I mean, game wise, like, he's still in the game. He's the only person who's playing it with Misha. Misha didn't know, Misha didn't know the game. So, like, he is more so of the master strategizer.
Todd's playing the game too. I don't want to disrespect Todd as well. I think he knows, but he just doesn't. He's not in the power position. But he was this weekend and took Misha's orders. So,
and I will say honestly too, I think they're all playing the game. Yes. I just think that the way that people enjoy Big Brother to be played, or have always known Big Brother to be played, is the way that Todd, minus getting personal, Misha and Shanna, and Todrick are playing.
Yes, and you're right, AZAH. I actually agree with you. I mean, who people can say all that they want, that people aren't playing the game, but you have no other choice but to play the game once you're inside that house. So your choice to not, whether it's their choice to not engage in anything, is a game choice. It, like, having to survive the house in general means you're playing the game, because that means everybody's going at odds. Well, you know, Lamar's pretty ass is just, you know, sitting in the corner, you know, chewing his fingernails and
leaving them
in pretty little rows. You know, whatever he's doing, they are different. The whole, you know, the whole other personal stuff is just that. That's, I mean, that's what we have BB Twitter for. Y'all can be like the judge and the, you know, the juror for that, you know, the executioner and all of that good stuff, because, you know, we just really talk about.
Yeah. Twitter gonna stay mad. You're always mad. You're mad at everything. I agree with you, because Carson this whole time been just here to have fun. But this last week he was like, can you spare us? It was his first time now saying, look, well, at first I was just here to have fun. Now I'm realizing maybe I gotta do something. So hey, Misha, you look nice today. Do you think that you won't put us up? Now he's actually trying to look into the future and how he can get to the end with his girl Cynthia. And before this, he wasn't doing none of that. He was just here to take bubble baths and play games. So you know, sooner or later, everybody is playing the game.
Oh yeah, I mean, Lamar just found out that unless he's in the final two, he's not going to have a chance to win. So that's he didn't know that. So he thought he could win. He thought he could. No, this is honest to God. Like, he thought that he could win if he got evicted and he was in jury, that he still had a shot at winning. So this is like a big accomplishment for.
I want him to write down what he thought the game was. I would love to see, like, if Lamar just wrote down, these are all the ways you can win.
He probably thought it was a volunteer program.
Little brothers, not big brothers, little big sisters.
It's like NBA cares or something, you know? Oh, yeah.
Very that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so that is everything I think that we pretty much covered until the episode tomorrow, which will be the HOH. So we've kind of talked about that. Again, if you haven't already done so, click like, subscribe, and click to receive those notifications. Let's see the likes go up. Let us know in the comments who you want to win this veto, because that's kind of gonna determine everything. Do you want to see Cynthia win the veto? Do you want to see Carson win the veto? Do you want to see Lamar win the veto? Like, who's your pick? We will be back probably Saturday to discuss everything that happens in the last 3 episodes, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. AZAH, my dear, would you like to tell everybody where they can follow you, and anything and everything that you have coming up, if in case they missed it?
Thank you. Okay, well, the other thing I also have a cookbook that just launched, not last Friday, but the Friday after last. It's called HOUSECHOPS. It's my online cookbook. If you go to my Instagram profile at Wonderful World of AZ, Wonderful World of Oz, and you click the link, you'll be able to see that, as well as get tickets for the HOUSECHOPS watch party next Wednesday. On Twitter, you can follow me at AZAH_Awesome. And on TikTok, it's AZAH Awesome.
Ooh,
How was Buffalo, AZAH?
Oh, it was great. It was great. Yes, this weekend I was in Buffalo to visit Brittany and her family. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. It was cold, but it was amazing. Yeah, we went to the the Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls and Buffalo are just such a cute little quaint town. Like, they took me, I had some buffalo wings. I went to some cute little diners. It was just awesome. I loved it.
Ooh, that sounds
Upstate, stand up.
Okay. Also, wait, don't forget your event. AZAH, gotta plug that.
Yep. If you can come out. I got a partnership with a hotel and have a great rate that I can give you. But I'm having HOUSECHOPS, my Celebrity Big Brother watch party. You can try some Big Brother themed tapas and Big Brother recipes that I made in the house while we watch the finale of Big Brother. And then we just gonna have a really fun time partying. Okay, we're gonna have a great time. We had a great time when it was in DC, and we still have tickets available. We are almost sold out of our VIP, but we have some available. We still have our general admission available too. Make sure to get tickets before the price goes up again on Friday.
You don't want to miss it. It's a great time. She knows how to get a party started, and she knows how to finish it. It was so much fun.
Yeah, she's going to have Big Brother people there. She's going to have some Survivor people there. We kind of have a lot of people that just come in. So it's a great time to see it.
And The Amazing Race.
Oh, yes, The Circle, The Amazing Race. For real, y'all will...
You'll love it. And it's so chill. The atmosphere is chill. Everybody's there, but it's so chill. Like, everybody's talking to everyone. You'll feel right. You'll feel like you're a part of the party. You're a part of the crew too. You feel like you were on TV. Like, she really does create a great atmosphere. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. Well, thank you so much for coming, everybody. We love you so much. Thank you for being with us, and we will